Bluff City Media presents the Two Buck Sports Show with your hosts, Rusty Buckets and Uncle Buck. Now, let's get to the show.
What is up, everybody? Happy Thursday, guys. We've almost made it to another football-filled weekend. It starts tonight, which we'll get to that here in just a little bit with the Commanders and Packers. But before all that, I got my guy Drew Gann here checking in from Northeast Mississippi on this beautiful Thursday. Hadn't quite got hot yet, but it's gonna. How's it going, Drew?
It's all right, I reckon. Everybody just needs to get offline for a little bit, I think. I've fallen victim to just being online too much the last, almost 24 hours now. And so I'm working my way out of a funk. And so we're here. There's nothing better to do when you're just kind of feeling down other than, like I told you yesterday, putting on the phone, turning on some music, putting down the phone, turning on some music, and talking about some sports. And so that's what we're doing today. We're not going to touch it anything more than that. If you want to indulge further, by all means, we're not.
Yeah, not at all. Taylor DeWan posted earlier. I have not been on social media for the last 12 or so hours, much really at all. But Taylor DeWan did post this morning and say, sometimes you got to laugh, you got to joke, you got to talk about sports. And that's what we're going to do here on the Two Buck Sports Show live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central on Bluff City Media's YouTube page. Wayno, you'll appreciate this. We're actually going to dive into a little bit of basketball to get started. Drew, I don't know if you've listened to it or not.
I did.
But
I do my homework.
This morning.
I do the homework that you assign. You don't ever listen to the homework that I assign you, but I always listen.
Before I was so rudely interrupted, I listened to the episode this morning of Pablo Torre Finds Out, and it's fun. Like, he dropped enough nuggets in the first episode to where it was like, it was pretty damning, and there was some pretty heavy information, and allowed Ballmer and different people to kind of hang themselves a little bit with the information, only for him to slam the casket door this morning saying, by the way, Kawhi Leonard was owed $1.75 million as part of this deal. And about a week before, 9 days to be exact, before he got paid, a floundering company that was bleeding cash, had no money, got a $1.999999.59 million investment from Drew. Do you remember who made that investment?
Yeah, the only other owner of the Los Angeles Clippers, the 1% owner.
How about that? Mr. Dennis Wong, Steve Ballmer's college roommate, his business partner on the Clippers, the real estate guy who got the deal done for the Intuit Dome, was the man who is a smart, sounds like a kind of a savvy money investor guy.
Yeah, they both are. Steve Ballmer's the sixth richest man in the world.
And then Dennis Wong's done great in real estate, only for him to drop $1.9999 million into a fledgling company. And the person, like the insider, was just like they were just like, what is happening? Like, why? Like, we're bleeding cash everywhere. But yeah, we're still paying Kawhi Leonard? Question mark?
All right. Well, first off, this is exactly what I said. Why didn't this happen? When this all came out, it was because of bankruptcy documents that, when you file for bankruptcy, you have to publicly name the lenders in which you are defrauding or that you owe money to. And Kawhi Leonard was one of them, which begged the question, like, what in the world? Why is Kawhi Leonard doing that? I've never seen Kawhi in an aspiration commercial or seen him post about a tree planting service or carbon credits. Like, I didn't know that he was involved. And so that led to the digging and everything else. And it's what it sounds like is like, this wasn't the only time that, it didn't, before bankruptcy was filed, they were owing money to, they were not able to make the payment to Kawhi Leonard as scheduled. And what they did is they swooped in and made sure that Kawhi Leonard got his payday. And listen, it's extremely, I don't know what you do if you're Adam Silver. Like, you're not going to force a sale of the company when the owner is a 99% shareholder and is the sixth richest man in the world. Yeah. And I feel like Adam Silver in his comments yesterday firmly solidified himself as the worst commissioner in professional sports. But he kept on saying, like, I've got to have basically an ironclad, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that's him covering his bases and leaving the door open for Ballmer to keep the team, which the NBA wants. It's dirty business. I think Kawhi Leonard's contract should be nixed. I think they should forsake first-round picks, but they don't have any, so I don't know what you do. And listen, hats off to Pablo Torre and those guys. Everybody made the mistake, including Mark Cuban and everybody else. But I'm a PTFO fan. I've watched a lot of Pablo Torre Finds Out. What Mark Cuban and a lot of these people didn't realize is that he revisits these, and in some of these bigger cases, he releases as episodes, but he doesn't say, stick around next week for more Pablo Torre Finds Out.
No,
I guarantee it, that Pablo Torre knew this piece of information last week when he dropped his first bombshell investigative piece. And
he didn't find this out in the last week. This was there, and he left just enough of the line hanging with the hook down here and the bait on it for Mark Cuban, Steve Ballmer, Adam Silver, all these people to absolutely take it hook, line, and sinker. And once he had all three on the line, Drew, he set the hook and dropped the bombshell episode that I listened to this morning with all the damning information that, you didn't know about it? Well, then why did your 1% business partner also invest in this company right before Kawhi Leonard needed to get paid? And a reminder, his uncle and his camp said that we want corporate sponsorships to pay us.
Knowledge. Yeah.
Right, but we don't want to do anything.
Yeah, it stinks to high heaven. And listen, I was given a little. I took a pause a little bit after listening to the Cuban episode. That was a 3-hour conversation. They said it. It said it was 3 hours. They boiled it down to an hour and I think 15 minutes. Yeah. I want to see the other hour and 45 minutes. Honestly, I want to get all the way into it. But I give a lot of credence to Mark Cuban. I've talked about it on this show before. I think he's a genius. I think he's a mogul. I think that he is a smart man in a lot of aspects of life. What he does with the cost plus drugs is philanthropic as much as it is genius. Like, I have a lot of respect for Mark Cuban and him as a fellow billionaire, despite having a fraction of the income that Steve Ballmer does. I'll never understand business deals the way those two do, and so I was curious to his thought process in it. And ultimately, I kind of gave a little bit of credence to the fact of, like, you fix this if you're Steve Ballmer and you have Steve Ballmer money. Like, you have the avenues in which to allow this not to become the story that it is if you are indeed purposefully circumventing the cap.
Right.
However, I can't think of a more reasonable explanation. And I don't know if you're familiar with Occam's razor, but Occam's razor, the theory and the principle of Occam's razor is more times than not, the most likely explanation is the explanation.
Yeah.
You can connect dots and have the Always Sunny in Philadelphia map with all the yarn. But 9 times out of 10, or I'll give benefit of the doubt, 7.5 times out of 10, the most likely explanation is the explanation, is the truth.
Explanation, yeah.
And the dots to connect Kawhi Leonard and the tree planting company without involving Ballmer or the Clippers is a lot of yarn.
A lot of yarn.
Yeah.
And there's going to be more that comes out. There's got to be more that's still, because the episode just ended, and not that we need any more damning information that it happened, but it's there. And you're absolutely right. Speaking of Adam Silver's press conference, it's so funny to watch him just fledge on these things. Like with this, how he's handling the Clippers situation. Yes, he gave himself an out to not make Steve Ballmer sell the Clippers. And I don't think that's what it needs to happen. There needs to be some punishment. There's been a precedent set there with the Minnesota Timberwolves giving up 5 first-round picks, but they don't have those picks. Yeah, but they don't have those picks. Exactly, and they don't have those picks. So something is going to absolutely happen there. But I don't know what Adam Silver's going to do. It's the same guy who in the same day yesterday also said that he doesn't care if fans are able to watch the NBA and his product. He said
I wanted
it's
to
a highlight league. Yeah, I want to get your take on that. But he said that if you can't afford it, It's a highlight league, and there's highlights on social media everywhere that you can go watch.
All right. He managed with that comment to piss off everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll speak first as a middle-class dude in rural Mississippi that loves the NBA and has to have a two-income family to get by, okay?
Yeah.
Cost of living is high. The cost of the brick has went up everywhere. And instead of, the media deal that they had with TNT and basically cable, you had to have cable to watch the NBA and a regional, your regional partnership, the RSN with us being FanDuel Sports Network. Went from that to now needing Prime and NBC and Peacock and I'm forgetting some. I'm sure ESPN Plus, Fubo. I don't know, everything. You have to have everything to watch your NBA games. You're going to have more blackout games that are not going to be covered by your RSN, and the price went up significantly. And your response is, "Oh well, it's a highlight sport anyways." No, I'm not in it for highlights.
Yeah,
I'm in it to watch my team play basketball. I want to watch 48 minutes of basketball. I don't want to watch SportsCenter top 10 and then call myself an NBA fan. That offends me because come across as at least I know you're raising the price, but at least say yes, I understand the problem with having the cost of the consumption of NBA go up, but we're also providing you so much more access. We're providing you this. You didn't say that. You said, well, if you can't afford it, go to YouTube, buddy.
Sorry about your luck, buddy.
The other people that he pissed off are the people that just paid billions of dollars for the access. Because instead of promoting their product and their access and the new spin and flavor that they can add to the NBA, he said, well, if you can't afford it, YouTube's right there. It's a pretty good product. Now they're pissed. No, don't go to YouTube. Come to us. We have all this. He pissed everybody off. Everybody.
That's it. And there's nobody that benefits from it being a highlight league more than Ja Morant. Ja Morant has the most highlight, most airtime, all those things. But it's the most tone-deaf response that I've literally ever heard. He is literally, what's the guy? I'm blanking on. What's the guy from The Simpsons? The old money, the skinny guy. Yeah. Somebody.
Luke's in the comments. He can know. He'll know.
What's the rich guy from The Simpsons? It's that kind of response. He's got stupid funny money that he doesn't care about the little people anymore who can't afford because they priced out people to be able to go to games. This is a Rob Manfred level expose about people watching sports, right? Because in Major League Baseball, Mr. Burns, thank you, Luke. I knew I could count on you, Mr. Burns. Shout out to Rob Manfred. You used to be the worst commissioner of all professional sports, but Adam Silver tied you because Manfred believes if you're within 6 hours of a stadium, you should be able to get there and watch the game. Right. Well, the NBA, Adam Silver doesn't give a flying what if you watch it or not because you can watch the highlights on YouTube. And it's so tone deaf because we were told when you cut the cable and you go to these streaming services, it's going to be much cheaper. You're going to be able to get all your packages. Well, now in order to watch every single YouTube, Amazon, NBC, Peacock, all the places where you're going to have to go to watch NBA basketball games, you're going to be paying more than you were for satellite and cable back in the day. And Adam Silver, the commissioner, whose goal is to grow the game, whose goal is to introduce it to new kids and new audiences. And yes, they're making a heyday overseas, but they're forgetting about the people here who actually go to the games and care about the games right here in the United States. He doesn't care about people at all.
And you know what? We forget what the commissioner's role is and who hires the commissioner. The commissioner's role is to be the guy who is the big target that people throw darts at and deflect those darts from the owners. The owners hire him. The owners you move his mouth like a puppet. Yep. And that's what a commissioner is. And he is there at the behest of the owners.
Yeah.
And for that reason, he and Roger Goodell and Rob Manfred are untouchable because what they've done is increase the value of the league and the valuations of the teams. I'm not here to say that Rob Manfred should ever choose to take a less lucrative deal for the NBA because that's not his job. But
Right.
you've got to understand that whereas your job is safe and you're making these billionaire owners more billions, it does have a negative impact, and it makes it a harder product to keep up with financially for the people that use it. And to get up on there, to get up on that podium and to seem as if you are surprised by the question, like, you got to know that there's only one question or two questions are going to be asked, and you seem to bungle both of them. One being about the Clippers situation and Kawhi Leonard, and the other one about the new lucrative TV deal. You bungled both of them. Like, it's asinine. It's stupid. Like, I can't fathom a worse answer given.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for everybody in the comments. King Meeks, Jared, Wayno, Mimamp247. Appreciate y'all all being here. Got some new faces. If you're on X, come on over, join the conversation. We want to know your thoughts on Adam Silver and how he's handling this, because in our opinion, it's about as poorly as you can handle it. From the TV deals, like Drew said, to now this tone-deaf response. And then you've got Kawhi Leonard. To kind of come back to that for a second, I just saw this on X. This is via APH00PS.
Sounds legit.
Yeah. But it's let's see, it's AP Hoops, NBA trade offseason, 6,000 followers, Rob Perez. It's decent. In 2022, Kawhi Leonard played in 26% of his games due to right knee stiffness before the reported $1.75 million delayed payment was made by Aspiration. The day after it was deposited, Leonard went on to play 82% of the Clippers' total games to close out that season.
You think he was possibly holding out for $1.25 million?
I think he was possibly, like, in the totality of his contract. Maybe it's another piece of evidence that just makes you go,
I mean, listen, I can be absolutely. I sounded like a contrarian there. I can absolutely believe that Kawhi Leonard would hold out for $1.75 million.
I believe his uncle would make him or his uncle. Somebody in his camp said, "You sit until we get that," and then he got it. He's like, "All right, go play, have fun."
This is King Meeks posts a question here that's been asked all the time. You know, anytime that you take over for the man, and David Stern was the man who ruled with an iron fist and took nothing off of nobody. Would this happen if David Stern was there? We'll ask it for both situations that we are talking about today. We'll start with the first one. I believe Kawhi Leonard may be dead and buried if David Stern was the president.
What would happen if David Stern was still the commissioner? That he would give them the SMU treatment. They would get the death penalty. Like, the Clippers would have to sit out a couple of seasons.
Well, first off, it seems like Kawhi is not going to do his own negotiation or marketing. It's Uncle Dennis. It's always been Uncle Dennis, and these rumors about Uncle Dennis have been around for half a decade, since 2019. So for starters, Uncle Dennis does not exist in this world if one peep is ever heard about this. Like, I'm not saying he kills him, but he's definitely not acting on the behalf of Kawhi Leonard anymore. Absolutely. It doesn't get to this point if David Stern is there. And if it does get to this point, you saw David Stern did void a contract and suspend owners and GMs and dock a team 5 first-round picks for just promising the facilitation of a marketing deal. Not even cash money from the owner. Like, it's just the facilitation of the deal. So, no, this wouldn't happen if David Stern was here. And do you think if David Stern was here, we would have this TV broadcast situation?
No. I don't. I think he would be – he always felt like the commissioner that was trying to grow basketball to get it to be like a worldwide product and viewed by all. And I think that he would be pushing for this to be more accessible. Yes, the Memphis Grizzlies did a wonderful thing last year. What was it, Drew? Like 12 games that were free on local channels on WREG Channel 3 out of Memphis.
The second half of the season. It was like 8 or 10, something like that.
8 or 10, something like that. Like, that would be the overarching theme of any TV deal. Like, again, David Stern's trying to get money. He's trying to get paid. He's trying to grow the league, and I think he does that in a way that allows people to still have access. Adam Silver is the Batman villain, super villain, who's trying to build a lair and build a death ray or whatever you want to call it, take over the world. So he's just trying to get every penny he can, pushing it in international markets, taking it off of accessible TV for the common fan, put it on all these streaming services. And Drew, it's not to create more access for fans. Shout out, man, it was Channel 5. Like, it's not to help the common fan. It's not to help people grow in their fandom of the NBA. It's to make him and the owners more money. Point blank period.
Well,
that's all he's trying to do.
And I'll push back on that just a little bit. And I'll say that, maybe I'm not as well educated on David Stern as some people were, especially when it comes to CBAs and stuff like that. It's a little before my time. I just hear the legend of David Stern. I tend to believe that he's going to take the most money offered because, again, that's his role, is to increase the valuation of the league and to make the owners money. So it's hard for me to believe that a commissioner of a professional sports franchise doesn't just simply take the most money. Yeah, I know there's some, sure, Saudi Arabia could come in and offer $100 billion and host every NBA game on an illegal stream, and he wouldn't take that, but within reason, he's going to take the most money. And maybe I'm wrong about that. I just kind of know the role of a commissioner, and it's not, judge, jury, and executioner. It is build up this league, make it marketable, and sell it for more money.
So I agree with Wayno here. I do think that he would allow it to be more freely on YouTube, not just highlights, but games, because he was not cutting basic access. He pushed for basic access for the common fan, for everybody to be able to watch it. The exact opposite of what Adam Silver has done. Adam Silver has taken, and you're exactly right. Like, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do, make the owners money, but he's doing it at the expense of the common fan. I am fortunate enough that I used to have a job that I could afford a half-season pass to go to games, and I'm going to go to a lot of the home games this year. But not everybody has that, and now he's making it be even more difficult for the common fan, the low-income fan, and the people who want to go to the games to see them if they can't make it. Like the family of four in this day and age, with prices being so high, probably can't go drop $200, $250 on tickets. Then you got to pay for gas, parking, food, all the things. Like, right. It's a $400 night to go watch an NBA basketball game, and people can't afford that. And now you're going to have them pay upwards of $130 or $150 a month to be able to see all the games. It's ludicrous.
Yeah, and allow me to play devil's advocate just a little bit, just for the other side. And the NBA is not the only league that is charging uber amounts of money comparative to even 3 years ago. I mean, we love college sports more than anything. If you want to see a price hike, go look at college sports. This is not exclusive to the NBA.
No, it's not.
And the NBA has always done a better job of marketing highlights on YouTube for free to gain new fans. The NBA is a highlight league, but don't offer that as a reasonable alternative for not being able to afford the opportunity to watch full basketball games. Exactly. Like, it's not apples and apples there.
It's not, because the highlights are probably for kids and casual fans, but hoop heads like me, you, Wayno, Jared, King Meeks, Edward, all the guys, man, all the people that are in our comments every day, we want to go watch 4 quarters of basketball. I want to see what Brandon Clark does in the second quarter stretch without Zach Edey. I want to see how Scottie Pippen Jr. handles the third quarter when John Morant's on the bench. And I want to be able to watch my team play without having to pay for a dozen different streaming packages. Right. I know for me, like, I get FanDuel. I pay for FanDuel and I watch it so I can see Pete and Brev. Like, I'm old man, yelling at clouds over here. But, like, not everybody has that luxury.
Yeah, and I frequent, after every single game, and I watch 98% of Memphis Grizzlies basketball games. Mm-hmm. And after every single game, including the ones I watched for the whole duration, the next day I'm on YouTube and watching that 10-minute supercut. Just to fill myself in, see if there's anything I missed. There is value to that, but just don't pitch it as a good alternative if you can't afford. If I priced you out of this, you can watch a 10-minute supercut. Like, no, like, I want that. Make it reasonable.
Yeah, exactly. Again, I am just as guilty as everybody. I watch highlights no matter what chair I'm sitting on, porcelain, leather, or cloth. I'm watching NBA highlights throughout the season. I love NBA highlights. I do, but I don't want it to replace my consumption of an entire game.
Yeah. Pooping, NBA highlights are good when you're pooping, but I'm not going to watch a whole game while pooping.
No, I want to watch my highlights while I'm pooping.
I won't be able to feel my feet.
When I'm on the leather or the cloth chair, I want to watch an entire game. But y'all let us know y'all's comments. Keep them coming. It's been a fun conversation. I think we can all agree that Adam Silver has solidified himself as top 2, probably not number 2, worst commissioners. And it's going to be interesting to see how this Kawhi Leonard situation continues to evolve, Drew, over the coming months, as I'm sure we're going to find out more from Pablo Torre.
How much would you pay for a service in which you could watch everything under one umbrella? Call it YouTube TV. We know the price of YouTube TV. It's like $80 a month. If I was to tell you that YouTube TV offered you a premium in which you could stream every single football game, basketball game, baseball game, college and professional, how much do you think that would be worth to you based on what you would cut out of your ledger? Because Peacock, that's going to cost you $12, $15 a month. Prime's $120 a year. FanDuel, I believe last year was $100 for the season for the Grizzlies. Like, I would go out on a limb here and say, like, it's worth like $125 a month.
Yeah, I was with Jared. My number was like around 150 because that kind of would encapsulate everything. And they get you like you could do away with ESPN and all the different things if it was just YouTube TV, and you could get unlimited sports access. $150 a month feels reasonable because you're going to get other channels that you can watch that are not sports related. But if it gets me all the sports, $150 a month feels pretty reasonable. But I'd be happy with $125.
Yeah, Wayno said basically $50 a month. Sign
me up for that. Yeah,
that's cheaper than YouTube TV, and
that's it.
And don't even get me started on Red Zone being $450
and commercials
for the season.
Yeah,
they ran one commercial, and I think they bailed on it in week 1. So
I hope so. But this is a good time before we get into our football talk for the day. I do want to remind you that we have the College Football Saturday coming up this Saturday live at Grind City Brewing. Games start at 11, 2:30, 6:30 on the big screen. We're going to be live at 5:30 p.m. for another edition of the College Football Saturday show. We're going to recap the big games of the day. We're going to highlight the big plays. We're going to talk about the upcoming primetime games, including Texas A&M and Notre Dame. Y'all come have a beer with me. I'm going to get there and watch the Georgia-Tennessee game live at Grind City Brewing leading up to the show. And I'm super stoked, Drew, about what's coming up this weekend for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I should be there. We're working out some kinks. It's logistics with kids and stuff, basically, with the ball tournament. I have permission to leave the ball tournament and come up there, but we're going to have – I can't leave my wife with 4 kids and a ball tournament. So we're working out some logistics, and so hope to be there with you guys towards maybe about halftime of the Georgia-Tennessee game.
Yeah, there we go. Sounds good. I'll be
excited about it.
Yeah, it's going to be a great, great day. Come hang out, have some beers with the boys, and watch college football. And while you're there, get your 2025 Stein from Grind City Brewing. I'm going to get mine this Saturday. It's $20. Your first pour is free, but then after that, you get $5 Oktoberfest and Poppies. I am super stoked about their Oktoberfest. It's one of my favorite beers, and Oktoberfest beers are one of my favorite parts about the fall. Super stoked about that. Y'all come hang out with us at Grind City Brewing this weekend. And on the other side of the break, we're talking NFL football today.
Hey, I got to tip my hat to the man, bro. Get the man his flowers, bro. You got to get the man his flowers. A lot of people hate on Dwight Howard. The man running, that man had a crazy run in the league, man. You talking about 8-time All-Star. The man averaged, every year his rebounding numbers were crazy. He didn't have a single season outside of when his game just started depleting, when he went to, Washington and all this type of shit, where he only averaged nine rebounds a game. 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 8-time All-Star, like I said, NBA champion. Shout out to Dwight Howard, man, for real.
I really do feel like, and maybe this is just because it's recency bias, but I do wonder, are we diluting down the Hall of Fame at this point? I definitely understand LeBron. I definitely understand Carmelo. I'm kind of like, about Dwight Howard in the Hall of Fame?
I can't get with you on that. The Hall of Fame is greatest players of all time, but it's also the greatest players from a given era.
That makes sense.
You have to recognize who the best players were in the era that just passed.
Tune in to the Anthony Sain Show Monday through Fridays at 1 p.m. live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
South Florida debuting on this list, number 18. 2-0.
Yeah.
Memphis Tigers also got one vote on this.
I think College Game Day should be in Memphis for that game because, like, the atmosphere on Beale Street was second to none. I'm beating the drum now. Kenny, clip this, get it out as much as you can. We want College Game Day in Memphis on Beale Street for the Memphis South Florida game if both the teams keep winning.
Yeah.
And it looks like they will. Jared, I'm sorry, brother, but I think Memphis is going to upset Arkansas. I think you're going to have two undefeated teams playing each other. Come on, game day. Come back to Beale.
There's very few environments where you're like, I want to be there. I want to be right there.
An iconic place to do game day. We're known as a basketball town, but people love their Tigers football.
Tune in to The Daily Grind with your host, Luke Hatmaker, every Monday through Friday at 7:30 a.m. live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. Looking for an alternative to alcohol or conventional medicine? Check out Ounce of Hope, a Memphis-based dispensary with 2 local stores in the Sanderland Center and on South Cooper Street. You can get all the products you need in a location convenient to you. Each store offers an intentional shopping experience with dedicated bud tenders to answer all of your questions, from product selection and mushroom blends to our personal favorite, the Delta 9 seltzers. You gotta try the Peach Buzz. Try Ounce of Hope at either one of their 2 Memphis stores or at www.ounceofhope.com for convenient products shipped right to your door. Use the promo code BluffCity for 15% off any order, excluding sale items. Cannot be used in conjunction with other promotions or discounts. One use per customer.
Welcome back to segment number 2 of the 2 Bucks Sports Show. I'm your co-host, Uncle Buck. I've got Buckets with me. We're on Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We're on Bluff City Media's X page. And I would like to take a minute to cordially invite anybody on X to come on over to YouTube. Comments are good today. Lots of in-depth, deep-thinking content, not just fart jokes in the comments today, brother.
Yeah, we've got one porcelain reference today, and that's enough for the show. Everybody else is actually thinking this through. Yeah, shout out Wado and Meme and everybody debating it. Like, come let us know, what would you pay as a premium price to consume all the sports content for whatever league it is, or all the leagues? What would you pay as a premium price to get them all in one place? And so, great conversation, one that I'm sure will continue. But Drew, it's Thursday, and that means we are one day closer to the weekend. And tonight, that starts with Green Bay and the Washington Commanders. Like, the football gods have shined upon us in the first 2 weeks because we've had 2 really good Thursday night games. You had, the Eagles Cowboys last week, and then this week you've got you got Luke wanting to pay $20 for fart jokes in the comments. So if you got good ones,
pay a premium.
he would send them to Luke because he's got money to burn for fart jokes. But tonight we get the Washington Commanders and Green Bay Packers, Drew, to start off our football weekend. What are you looking for in this matchup tonight?
I'm just excited this Thursday night football game is a good game. And typically, your Thursday night football games, as you get into the season, have always been kind of clunkers. And I've always been extremely frustrated to get subpar games on solo national television nights, like Monday night, Sunday night, and Thursday night. Like, they should always be at a premium because, unless you pay for an NFL Sunday ticket, which we have, I guess it's going to be a common theme today, an exorbitant amount of money, you get one game or 2 games at 12 o'clock, maybe 2 games at 3:30, one Sunday night, one Monday night, one Thursday night. Those games and the Sunday afternoon and lunchtime games are typically going to be your local team anyways, one of them. So you've got to really put some pizzazz on these standalone games. And so Thursday night's typically a clunker. I'm stoked for tonight. I think you've got 2 teams out of the NFC, they're absolute title contenders, especially Green Bay after their dominant win over Detroit in week 1. Their trade right before the season starts for Micah Parsons. Stock on Green Bay is high. I don't know if you buy at this point. You're definitely getting it, paying a premium for Green Bay stock. They're 3.5-point favorites in Lambeau. I think this is going to be an absolute smoke show of a game.
Absolutely. The over-under is set at 48.5, and I think we're going to hit the over because these are two offenses that can get after it. Green Bay's defense is good. Their secondary is a little bit suspect, but their pass rush is really good. Washington is pretty good at all 3 levels, but you got 2 young dynamic quarterbacks, Drew, that are both the big arms and great with their feet. They make great decisions. Both of them are very mobile quarterbacks. A couple of steady running backs. You got Josh Jacobs for the Packers, who is a touchdown merchant in fantasy football. And the up-and-coming Bill Krosky-Merritt, who had a big opening weekend against the Giants. But as you can see here, you go to FanDuel.com. These are your kind of straight bets. You could get Green Bay, as Drew said, a 3.5-point favorite. You get Washington plus 148 to win outright. Drew, they've got it set at 229 for Jordan Love and 228.5 on passing yards. If you had to take one to hit the over on that tonight, who would it be?
Well, I wish you would have let me prepare. I'd looked at week 1, like how they did. Those both seem like pretty low numbers. I think if you're expecting a high scoring game, I would probably lean towards Jaden Daniels just because they're more of an open offense. You don't have a running back that you expect to get. I think they're going to tandem probably 3 dudes, being Bill Krosky and Austin Eckler. But I don't see any of them getting over 75 to 100 yards apiece. I think Washington's going to air it out. I would lean towards Jaden Daniels personally.
Well, the stats back that up. Jaden Daniels in week 1 was 19 of 30 for 233 yards. Jordan Love was 16 of 22, but he did complete passes to 9 different receivers. Right. Had 188 yards in the big win over Green Bay.
And you look at game script, too, for that. They got up early on Detroit, and so they kind of took the air out of the ball lately. They spread it around. There wasn't a lot of downfield stuff for Green Bay. And the Reds, excuse me, I almost said the R word. The Commanders, the Commanders, kind of struggled a little bit with the New York Giants, and it was more of a rock fight kind of game. So,
yeah, and looks like they're relatively healthy. I don't see a ton of injuries on the report of big-time contributors. They have the rushing yards set. The highest in the game is Josh Jacobs at 78.5. He had 19 carries for 66 yards in the Week 1 game against Detroit. But again, Detroit's got an elite-level defense. Bill Krosky-Merritt led the Commanders last week with 10 carries for 82 yards. But the over-under top 2 rushing leaders are Josh Jacobs at 78.5. And one Jaden Daniels at 44.5 for the Commanders, Drew.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you picked out Jaden Daniels because he was the highest over-under for rushing yards or because that's a pretty high number for a quarterback. So I guess that answers that question.
So the rushing props are set. So it's Josh Jacobs, 78.5, Jaden Daniels, 44.5, Bill Krosky-Merritt, 43.5, Eckler, 20.5, Jordan Love, 5.5.
Okay. Well, I'd take the over on Jordan Love. There you go. That's easy. So I would take, you look at Bill Krosky-Merritt. I think we're calling. He said he wanted to be called that, right?
He wants to be called Bill. He wants to be called Bill. Yeah,
Bill.
Why anybody wants to be called Bill?
What person in their 20s just says, you know what?
Yeah,
I think I'll be Bill now.
You just wake up one morning and be like,
I bet he has a strong handshake. If he wants to go by Bill, he better have a strong handshake. Yeah, he was supposed to come to Ole Miss, and couldn't get accepted because he was one of those like 6th-year seniors kind of thing, kind of weird when it comes to a transcript. And does college even matter? Apparently,
classes, yeah.
So, I would take I take the over on Jordan Love. I think he'll get over 3.5. Unless he just gets sacked a lot. But yeah,
I think he will too. But a couple other bets you can go bet on right now. One of them is the anytime touchdown scores. This is a FanDuel same game parlay. And right now on FanDuel, you can get a 50% profit boost on the game tonight. So whatever you bet, whatever you make, you can get 50% more, 50% profit boost right now on FanDuel.com. But their anytime touchdown scores they have on their same game parlay feature is Jaden Daniels, Deebo Samuels, Jaden Reed, and Josh Jacobs to score a touchdown at any point during the game. You can parlay that to plus 3104. The other same game parlay was one that I came up with. It was a way that you could build your own same game parlay. You got a Josh Jacobs or Jaden Daniels anytime touchdown, Deebo Samuels to have at least one catch on the opening drive, and Josh Jacobs to have 10 plus rushing yards on the opening drive. Get you plus 1460, Drew.
Okay. I don't mind any of those. Yeah, I don't mind any of those. I would probably go with the second one. I think has better odds to succeed. You know, I think if you just take anytime touchdowns and you didn't make it a parlay, I'd probably like any of those as single bets on the top option there. If I get Jaden Daniels or Deebo Samuel or Jaden Reed or Josh Jacobs, I like that. But I just don't really see a situation in which you're going to have all four of them hit. DG in the comments says the Packers force teams away from the run. Eckler over 19.5 receiving yards. I've never given up on Austin Eckler. I always seem to have him in fantasy, and that's the reason why. Is because he does such a good job catching the ball. 19.5 receiving yards. It still seems like low for Austin Eckler, regardless of who he's playing. So I like that as well.
Absolutely. So right now, anytime touchdown scores, these are of that you got 4 of the top 5. Josh Jacobs is minus 215 anytime, plus 310 for the first touchdown, which are the best odds. Anytime for Jaden Daniels is plus 172, plus 186 for Deebo, plus 180 for Terry McLaurin, and plus 215 for Jaden Reed.
Okay. Yeah. I'm hoping that this is a high-scoring game. I like high-scoring football. I'm not one of those guys that's like 3 yards in a cloud of dust, football the way it was supposed to be, run the dang ball. I like high scoring, however you can do it. And so by all means, let's hope for lots of points scored.
Absolutely. And Drew, this is just our warm-up. Reminder, this is Thursday Night Football. FanDuel is your home for betting on Thursday Night Football. But it's not too early to start looking at Sunday. Sunday has got a pretty good slate of matchups this weekend, Drew. We've got some division games with the Bears and Lions playing, and there's plenty of good football happening this Sunday, and FanDuel is your home for any wagers you want to make, Drew. I think the first one that kind of jumps out we could talk about is that Bills-Lions game. It's a division game. The Lions struggled offensively. Bears and Lions. Bears at Lions. Lions struggled offensively last week. The Bears didn't early, but did late. It's a division game. What are your thoughts on the Bears-Lions? Open it up. The Lions are a 6.5-point favorite.
It seems important to both teams, honestly. Bears talked themselves into some expectations this year. This is where we lose Hatmaker as well because he is about to shatter his computer over his knee. The Bears had high expectations going in, but not nearly as high and as disappointing as the Week 1 performance was for the Detroit Lions. I hope that Detroit screams back in their first home opener here, a divisional game. I hope that they just make a statement, and that's selfish because I'm highly invested in fantasy and lots of Lions players. So I'm hoping that the Green Bay game was about Green Bay and not about Detroit losing their offensive and defensive coordinators in the offseason.
Absolutely. And I think we've got room for that. Like, we're going to find out over the next couple of weeks. Can the Lions bounce back offensively? I believe in Jared Goff and Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery and Amon-Ra St. Brown a lot more than I believe in the supporting cast in Chicago. Again, sorry, Luke, if you haven't punched your screen already, I'm sure you have now. But I don't believe in Caleb Williams. I like Ben Johnson as their head coach, but I just don't believe in Caleb Williams at all.
Yeah, listen, call me old-fashioned Mississippi, but the fingernail polish, it just I can't do it.
Yeah.
So listen, a couple other ones that jump out to me. If you really hate yourself, there's a hotline number you should call if you're feeling about self-harm, and then a key indicator that you're not feeling right mentally is if you watch the 49ers with a backup quarterback go to the New Orleans Saints and play, like, pass all the way pass. Like, sorry, you're going to watch Mac Jones go to the Superdome and play Spencer Rattler. Like, just go read a book. Like, don't watch that.
The over-under is set at 40 and a half.
14? Oh.
It's 40 and a half.
Another one, anytime you see Eagles Chiefs, that's a rematch of a Super Bowl. That's interesting. If the Eagles flex on the Chiefs, Eagles had a good win Thursday Night Football against the Cowboys. The Chiefs lost a neutral site game in Brazil to the Chargers. If the Eagles go 2-0, beating Kansas City at home, do you ring any sort of bells? Alarm bells, wedding bells, cowbells, what?
All the bells. I mean, a little bit. It just depends on how they look, right? Like, I think that if it's competitive and this is a shootout and it's 38-36 final score or 41-40 like we had with Baltimore and Buffalo, then I think nobody's saying a word. But if the Chiefs come out and they look as just inept offensively as they did in Brazil, we can chalk that up maybe to the altitude and flying and all that kind of stuff. Art in the comment section can attest to how bad all that is in Brazil. But I don't know. I think should they be? Yeah. I like Pat Mahomes did not look great in week 1. Travis Kelce looked okay, but who is their wide? They don't have a wide receiver 1 or 2 really.
Hollywood Brown, baby.
They don't have a wide receiver 1 or 2, really. And then they got Pacheco, who runs like a toddler who's got something in his mouth that he shouldn't and trying to get away from his parents. I would be worried if I'm a Chiefs fan. I know that run. I've got a 1.5-year-old. Watch Isaiah Pacheco run and tell me it's not the same.
My son just swings one arm.
He gets his wide stance, the head moves.
No knees, all legs, just chugging. Can't be stopped. I mean, there's a lot of parallels with my son, Banks Gann, and Isaac Pacheco running. Listen, one that I hope is televised. Typically, Cowboys games are televised. Yeah. I'll be tuned into the Cowboys Giants, not because I have any not that I care really. Unless one thing happens, and that is Jackson Dart entering the game for the
and the rumblings are there, bro. Like it is fever pitch.
Let me just speak. That's what will get me invested in this game. I'm a Jackson Dart fan. I'm a fan of the New York Giants as long as Jackson Dart is playing football for the New York Giants. Apparently, Brian Daboll went to ownership asking permission to bench Russell Wilson. In order to start Jackson Dart. What I hope happens, the Giants are down their best offensive lineman for at least 2 to 3 more weeks, I think, before he can start the season. Then they go next week and play the Chiefs with Big Chris Jones in the middle there. I hope they just go to Jameis. I wish they would just go to Jameis and give Jackson Dart a few more weeks to get the best offensive lineman there. Don't get killed right off the bat. Don't ruin it. I don't want a David Carr situation. I don't want a, Daniel Jones situation here. I want to protect Jackson Dart and give him the most obvious path to success. The problem is that Brian Daboll is unquestionably coaching for his job this year. And when you're coaching for your job, the best way to keep it is to have a really good thing going with your quarterback of the future, with that being Jackson Dart. I'm just scared they go to him too early, and it's you've got a real Tommy DeVito situation there where you're just getting him killed. He loses confidence, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I never root for anybody's downfall. I would like to see what it looks like. Let him kind of rest and watch and not play just yet, but we'll see. For me, the Rams travel to Nashville. They're a 5.5-point road favorite. I get it. I watched week 1 pretty much in the entirety, then I watched it back. Yeah. Cam Ward is good. He's got a big arm. It's a little too big at times. Calvin Ridley had the drops in week 1, pretty bad. Defense was good against a Bo Nix led Sean Payton team who likes to get kind of squirrely, and we held our own. But 4 field goals. I know it's an elite defense. I just don't know that I trust the Titans yet. Stop me, Titans fans, if you heard this before, but it's going to be another year where the offensive line struggles and play calling is an issue, because that was the overarching theme from Sunday. I'm a Titans fan, but I think I would take the Rams at least to win. Again, it may be another like rock fight where it's 13-10 or 13-12 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams didn't exactly light the scoreboard on fire last week.
Matt Stafford's back is not 100%. They aren't quite. I don't think they're quite ready for the season. They kind of banged up a little bit, but and they're coming all the way to Nashville. I think the Rams win, but I don't know that they would cover. Then we got Jared in here barking about the Broncos are at a 2.5-point favorite at Indianapolis on FanDuel. Drew, I don't know. Indiana Jones looked the part of an NFL quarterback last year. Do you think Indy has enough to move the ball against that vaunted Denver defense?
Well, I tell you what, if you want me to pump the brakes on Jackson Dart really quickly, it's Daniel Jones being amazing, going on the road to Indianapolis. And, having Denver, the best defense in the league preseason, what they were being called, arguably the best player in the league with Patrick Surtain at corner. Yeah. If Daniel Jones goes out there and looks amazing, I'm just going to kind of hope Jackson Dart doesn't play all year. Dayball gets fired and we start anew next season. It's bad news there if Daniel Jones is great.
Yeah.
Bad news for Jackson Dart anyways.
Yeah. And Jared's in here. Denver's 4-9 in their last 13 at Indy. I hope, I enjoyed watching Daniel Jones look like an NFL quarterback last week from all of the hype I heard about AR-15. And look, I'm a Titans fan, so I don't root for the Colts. I hope they lose. But it was fun watching him throw the ball all over the defense in Miami. I think a lot of that's Miami's secondary is trash. But basically, you're going to have Pat Surtain taking out their number 1 receiving target, which would that be? Who would that be? Would that be Pittman?
Well, it was Pittman last week. He had the biggest numbers anyways, but they've also got Josh Downs. Maybe you look at Josh Downs in a flex kind of streaming role. And ESPN does a good job. I'll plug ESPN's fantasy app there. Mike Clay of ESPN every week does basically a shadow report to kind of either upgrade or downgrade receivers based on who their primary defender would be. I would imagine Michael Pittman is a downgrade, especially if Patrick Surtain is the type of corner that just follows around the number 1 option. I'm not sure if he plays one side of the field or not, but
they talked about that last week in the Titans-Broncos game in the broadcast, that basically Pat Surtain, what they do is they actually have 2 good corners, but Pat Surtain is obviously elite, and they just say, look, he's going to take away wherever your number 1 guy is, and you're just not going to be able to throw him the ball, and he's been very successful at that. He did it last week with Calvin Ridley, and then he's going to be able to do it again. Michael Pittman does lead the Colts with 6 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown, but that's probably who Pat Surtain will follow.
Then I would downgrade in fantasy Michael Pittman. I've now been convinced to leave him on my bench. I was thinking about bumping him up. I don't think I will.
There you go. But not against Pat Surtain. Anytime you're playing Denver and it's your wide receiver 1, you might want to look at other options, because you talk about somebody who can cut water off in a heartbeat. He is elite.
Where did he play at college?
Alabama.
Okay. I don't remember that.
He was good in college, but he wasn't he really took the step when he got to the NFL.
He was drafted highly.
He was.
I don't remember him.
He was
being
top 10.
What was the other corner from Alabama that was so good in college?
So there's a couple: Drake Kirkpatrick, Javier Arenas, Drake
Yeah.
Kirkpatrick. He went early to the Bengals, and it just never panned out. Pat Surtain was kind of the opposite. He was good in college, but really found his stride in the pros in Denver. But a lot of good football to watch this weekend. But before we get to that, we do have college football, and tomorrow is our pick'ems. Again, last week against the spread, your boy went 6-2. Drew was 2-6 against the FanDuel spread, but we got plenty of games to pick from this weekend. Listen, we're not that far away removed from where I went. I started off, I was like 1 in a bazillion, and I came back at the end of the season. So it can happen. But come hang out with us tomorrow as we talk about FanDuel college football lines, Drew. There's a lot of good football coming up this weekend.
Yeah. Do you have the lines ready? Have you locked in the lines in which we'll be picking from?
I've got the games, but I don't have the lines yet. I was going to wait and get those tonight, so we had as close to the show as we could, but still had time to prepare.
Tell us the games then. Tell us the games real quick. We're not going to dissect. I just, without knowing the lines, I'm just curious what I would think.
Yeah, so I've got, let me get my notes out, pulled up here. All right, so I've got Clemson at Georgia Tech.
Okay.
I know
what you're going to pick on that one.
I've already told y'all what I'm picking on that one.
Yeah.
I got Georgia, Tennessee. I've got South Florida, Miami, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Florida, LSU, A&M, Notre Dame, and I think because we were doing 8, I was leaning towards Oregon, Northwestern, just to see if Oregon would cover.
Gross.
Because there's not really another one. So I've got 7 of the 8. I mean, that's going to be our best one for the 8th one of the top 25. Let me see.
Okay. Well, you can find it. We can throw in an NFL game if you want to. Yeah,
because I've got 7. I've got 7 of the 8 on my notes here, and I got one more to get there. But I'll find one. I'll find a better one than that in one of the other games. So y'all tune in tomorrow for our thoughts. It's going to be a lot of fun picking those. That's going to do it for our Thursday edition here of the 2 Buck Sports Show. I am your co-host, Rusty Buckets. This is my guy, Drew Gann. If you're new here, we're here Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Central, right here on Bluff City Media's YouTube, on their X page, my X page. But if you're on X, Drew, that's not the best place to experience the show, right?
Yeah, come on over here to YouTube, hit the thumbs up button, hop in the comments. Just hit the bell as well. Subscribe. We'll let you know when we're on TV. How about that? You have no response. You don't have to have the responsibility of remembering. We'll let you know. Hit the bell. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the comments. Come talk to Jared and Memant 24/7. Appreciate you being here. Handle that I'm not familiar with. Is this a new one? Is he new
I think so. I believe it's. If I'm not mistaken, it looks like Everett. So if it's Everett, shout out, brother. Appreciate you being here. He's active in Grizz Twitter. Appreciate you being here for sure, man. So again, y'all come hang out. You get shout outs on the show. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you, Everett, for talking about the show here, getting word out. We appreciate y'all, man. Thank you very much. But listen, y'all be here tomorrow.
Hit the bell or Pablo Torres is going to find out about you.
He's going to find out about you. Then we're going to discuss you here on the 2 Buck Sports Show on Thursday. Maybe Thursday be our find out episodes. We'll start a FAFO segment on our show.
TBFO.
That's it. The Bucks find out. But we'll see y'all here tomorrow. Drew, in the meantime, y'all go be a friend to somebody who needs a friend and tell them why there are no refunds.
All right, because with the $2, you always get what you pay for. We'll see you tomorrow, Friday. Let's go.
Thank you for listening to the 2 Buck Sports Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.